Woohoo! Welcome to Odds.com's breakdown of UFC Vegas for Poirier, Hooker, and we brought our best MMA analysts. We've rounded them up for a big Tuesday night show here at Odds.com. We got cappers in the chat ready to get after it, and we've got cappers on the screen ready to get after it. Big shout out to our guests on tonight's show. First off, star of the Diehard MMA Podcast, Clint. What's happening, my man?
What's going on, Jimmy? Welcome back. Good to see you and my boys. We got Mo and Nick. I'm loving it. I look forward to Tuesdays every week now, thanks to this show.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. It is a lot of fun. I got a drink poured, and I'm ready to get after it. Boston Nick, my man. How are you doing, Mr. Fatfist?
Same old hooking and jabbing, sticking and moving, ready to cash some bets as usual. You know me.
I do, and I love it. And then Big Mo back in action. Mo, we missed you last week. How you doing, my man?
Doing all right, Jimmy. Hey, good to be back. Hey, I just want to know real quick, who left Clint out of the hat club? Huh? Hey, Clint. Hey. Come on, brother. Oh. Sean, go there he is.
There we go.
Fixed it.
We have a big fight card, the last North American fight card for a little bit, and an exciting one at that. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat joining us on this Tuesday evening. Alexis Zavada says, let's go, boys. Let's get some live dogs. We got DX Filer in the house. Timothy Topher says, Worthy is live at plus 230. Timothy says, Tisha was still the freest money there's ever been. Great call, you guys, on Tisha last week. Just my 2 cents, ready to get to work. Ryan Bottinelli, Quincy Brown, the Beach Boss, the Hobo Pope, Bob Taylor, JT MMA, Matt Campbell, Gerardo Hernandez, Robert Kahn, the fight analyst in the house. Man, we got great cappers in the chat. Alex Ramirez, the Spidey play of the day. Let's get after it right now. We are going to start on the preliminary card. Break down this preliminary card. We're going to start with a featherweight bout. 5'10" American Jordan, the native Psycho Griffin. 18-7-0 is his professional MMA record. He opens up at Bet365 at minus 125, a slight favorite. It is now a pick'em at Bet365. Money coming in on 5'10" Youssef, the Moroccan Devil Zalal. 8-2-0. Opens as a slight dog at plus 100. Now a pick'em at minus 110. Let's go to the star of the Diehard MMA Podcast. The first thing I see in the chat is our man Quincy Brown saying coin flip. Clint, is this a coin flip?
Jimmy, this is a great fight. It's an excellent spot, and I don't see it as a coin flip myself. I think there's a certain specific side that's got some value, and you know me, I like to start the card off with some action. I've got a bet on this one, Jimmy. So we've got Jordan, the native Psycho Griffin. He trains out of Rufus Sports, so he's with guys like GM3, Anthony Showtime Pettis, and that gym is kind of steadily doing this thing. They're not really on the right trajectory right now. They've got those shiny spots, good moments, but he's a fighter who's almost always losing until the moment that he wins. He's a comeback kid. He's super dangerous, got great submissions, but he's very, very hittable, and he can get worked. This kid, Youssef Zalal, comes out of Factory X, so he's in a good team. He's very rangy, exceptionally athletic, very good movement. He's going to be able to stick and move from the outside. He lands these heavy body and leg kicks, good head movement, a very dangerous step-in knee, and he's got a great gas tank. This kid can hit takedowns and grind his opponents out. He's always in shape. I like Youssef Zalal here, and you know what? That line has moved, Jimmy. He wasn't a pick'em to begin with, and your boy locked up underdog money, plus 115 on Youssef Zalal a little while back. So I got my first dog of the night locked and loaded.
Youssef Zalal, the first dog at the night. No longer a dog. Matt Campbell says Zalal all day. Big Mo, what do you think of the way Clint's starting off his card?
Hey, I love it when me and Clint agree at first. Just when you watch this tape, you have Zalal. He comes out real kick heavy. But the thing that he does that separates him, really good left to right movement. So in the small cage, it's going to be really hard to press him up against the cage. And let's say he does, I think Zalal's the better grappler anyway. The only place that Griffin might be better here is the boxing, because you don't see Zalal throw a whole bunch of hands, but it's because he's moving so much. A lot of kicks up the middle, a lot of leg kicks. He's really good at cutting angles, blasting double legs, getting it on the ground, throwing up darces. I think the play is Zalal here. Griffin always seems to be losing until he's not. And in the UFC, out of 3 fights, he's only made the comeback once. In all 3, he was getting beat. So I think the pick here is Zalal.
Yeah.
Zalal. We got 2 of our cappers on Zalal. Do we have them all on the Boston? Nick, what do you think?
I mean, honestly, I can tell you this much. I locked in Zalal at plus 105 as well.
Woo!
What, a minus 120 right now? Listen, Griffin has been –
There we go.
He got rocked by TJ Brown in the first 10 seconds in that fight by a jab, and he was taken down over 6 or 7 or 8 times, and he was taken down at will. Only reason why Griffin actually won that fight is because he slipped in a nice little guillotine when TJ Brown started to gas later in the second, and he actually got that guillotine while Brown was in side control. It was kind of a lucky guillotine, in my opinion, lucky submission. And I like Zalal here. You guys basically copied my work here. Zalal likes to move around, uses angles well, got a great step-in knee. I heard Clint just say that. I mean, the only thing that worries me here is the small cage. He will not be able to use that movement, I think, as well as, like he usually does. But I don't think that's a big difference here because I know for a fact from the tape work I've done that he has better wrestling and better grappling than Griffin. So that being said, that's why the line rate has flip-flopped in the last 24 hours or so. I'm just lucky I got him at plus 105.
The other thing we didn't mention, Jimmy, is that Griffin is on a short turnaround. He was scheduled to fight 2 weeks ago. He already peaked. He was cutting the weight. His opponent got pulled off the card. That's not something you can reset easy. So he's going to have to cut all that weight again, and these guys try to peak exactly at fight time. You can't get that back in 2 weeks. So he might be a little bit of a drained version of himself.
Tony Ferguson.
A couple of these, and I was going to ask Clint or Nick, have y'all been keeping up with the stats as far as, because we've seen this a couple times now, the quick turnaround? Are they losing consistently? Or? Yeah.
Hannah Pfeiffer's lost. Go on and on. I mean,
I think the only one to win is my Boston Knicks boy,
Charles Rosa.
Charles Rosa is the only one so far to pull the quick turnaround and actually get it done.
Well, Clint, what do you think of MMA Locker Room who says Griffin is better on the mat and grappling?
So I would tend to agree with what he's saying, but I also agree with Nick. I know that sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but there's a difference between wrestling and grappling. I believe our kid Zalal is a much better wrestler, so the smaller cage will favor him, whereas Griffin probably has better jiu-jitsu, but that means he's going to be fighting off of his back. And if Zalal doesn't want it to go to the mat, it's not going to go to the mat. Yeah. I don't know that Griffin's going to be able to get him down, whereas Zalal is going to be the one to make that choice. So if he uses his movement kind of like Mo was talking about, that side-to-side, staying outside, he should be able to. If he's not using that, he wants to go for the takedown, he's going to decide that he's on top. Griffin's going to have to find an opportunity to scramble or sweep to get on top, to use his grappling, and I don't know if he's going to be able to.
In your base. Bottom line, in the UFC, any organization, you have to have a good base, and it has to be wrestling. And that being said, I heard in an interview Griffin's been drilling nonstop as wrestling in his camp, but how much has he been drilling it during COVID? You know what I mean? It's been 4 months since he fought last. Has he really improved that much in the wrestling department during COVID? No, there's no way. He hasn't had the training partners to do it. It's impossible to become an actual wrestler in the UFC that's going to do something, or at least his takedown defense. And that being said, I believe this is easy money on Zalal. The only way that he wins this fight, Griffin, is snatching some sort of submission.
So before we move on to the next bout, I want to ask Big Mo a question that's being brought from the chat. From our man Nilo, says, have you guys factored in the smaller cage? Who does it really benefit, the grappler or the striker? Big Mo is
the grappler all day, Jimmy. Because you have somebody that's a striker. Let's say that they're looking to move back to counter strike. Well, one, you don't have as much room to move backwards, and a lot of people train in a smaller cage, but almost everybody fights in a bigger cage. So, you get that feel. I guess it's just kind of like a mental thing as well. And also, it's a lot easier for grapplers to get the striker behind the black line. And when they're behind the black line, it's a couple strikes, level change, and then all of a sudden they're on the cage. So I think this is like a 20-foot cage compared to like a 33 or something like that. It's quite a bit smaller, I believe. So, it super benefits the grappler.
Why did you just like the plus 105 or plus 100 line you were getting? Because here, JT MMA says Zalal by decision is the most logical pick in his opinion.
I don't mind that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nick.
I don't mind Zalal by decision. I actually see this probably going all 3 rounds, to be honest. And I just think that Zalal just beats him everywhere. Unless obviously there's been a lot of finishes in the small cages as well, so you can't count that out, totally. But I don't mind Zalal by decision, but I got him at plus 105 dog odds. I'm not going to take any chances when I already got plus odds.
Griffin never stops, too. You got to put Griffin away because Griffin, even when he's tired, I don't remember which fight it was, but Paul Felder was doing the commentary on it, and he was, I guess, training with him at that time, or they still do. And he was saying that, hey, Griffin's tired right now. He's just running off crazy. Because he just comes, looks for guillotines a lot. So even in the third, if he's gassed, you still got to look out. But I think Zalal's going to be smart, put his head in places on like doubles and singles that Griffin's not going to be able to snatch that neck up. And I think Zalal's going to get half guard side control. I think Jack Attack, JT MMA is right in the sense of probably Zalal by decision is probably the play.
Not to mention Lingo in his last fight, Zalal, when he fought Lingo, he was a minus 500 favorite. Not Zalal, but Lingo was.
Yeah.
So he and everybody's cherry pie, if you know what I mean. So he was hugely undervalued, and he was Lingo was hugely overhyped, and I think people are starting to catch on to Zalal. I watched a lot of tape on him. He's just so well-rounded. He really is.
He keeps his hands down low. That's one thing that I kind of worry about. He keeps his hands down low and tries to dip from side to side. But Griffin, he might pay for that later, but I don't think Griffin's going to make him pay for that.
Yeah.
Matthew S. says, give us a lock on this card. If you had $3,000 to put on one fighter to win, who would it be? I will ask him that question, but not off the top. Matthew S. You got to stick with us a little while. Shout out to everybody joining us. We're through one fight. And we have a lot more to go. Preliminary card and main card to break down. JT MMA, Cynthia Paniagua, the fight analyst, MM Mako in the house. Proud of Henny Boy, Josh and Bones, Timothy Topher, Quincy Brown, Matt Campbell, Walla Walla Dose, Nilo, MMA Locker Room, Maxwell Smart, Beach Boss, Alex Ramirez. Okay, let's keep rolling. We move into a women's strawweight bout. Both fighters making their UFC debut. 5'3" American Kay Hansen, 6'3" opens up at minus 150 at Bet365. That's where she stands right now, going up against 5'2" American Jinh Yu Frey, 9-4-0 is her professional MMA career. Opening at plus 125, still right there as we speak. Jinh Yu Frey, the dog. Let's go to Big Mo. What do you think of this strawweight bout?
Man, this one right here could go either way. If you watch tape, Frey, she's more of the striker. She is, a lot more athletic as far as her striking, her, her in and out movement. But the thing is, she does get taken down. She strikes at a real low volume, like a 1-2, a one leg kick. She is the older. She's 35, 36. We got Kay Hansen coming in, 20, 21 years old. She's
15 years age gap.
Yeah, she's coming in. She's the grappler. She's real flat-footed. So she could get caught with something from, like, if you watch the tape on Frey, she has a nice little check left hook that she catches a couple people with. But just such low volume, I think Kay is going to be able to get up and under her strikes, level change, double legger. She's only been to decision twice, I believe, 2 or 3 times Kay has. She has some submissions on her record. Frey, she seems to survive. I can't figure out which way I'm going as far as how she's going to get it done, but I think Kay Hansen gets it done here, Jimmy.
Kay Hansen gets it done is Big Mo's look. Let's go to Mr. Fat Fist. Do you agree on the favorite Kay Hansen?
I do. I mean, Frey, this is her first fight at 115 pounds. She's a former Invicta atomweight champion. This is her first fight in the UFC. I think she relinquished the belt in 2018, or that's when she got the belt. I can't remember. Frey is going to have to stuff Hansen's takedowns to be successful in this fight. If she doesn't, it's going to be a long night for her. And from the tape work I've seen on both these girls, I feel like Hansen will be able to take her down at will. she likes to more of a position over submission type chick. You know what I mean? Just kind of ride it out, top control, stuff like that. She will definitely be the bigger girl in this fight. So I like Hansen a lot here. I'm thinking about placing a bet on it as well. I mean, Frey is 35 years old. Hansen is 20. She's not even done growing yet as a girl. So, yeah, it's Hansen. It's Hansen or pass for me at this point.
The fight analyst says might be one of the easiest fights for Hansen. Clint, take it away. Do you agree with the boys?
You know what, Jimmy? This one, I've got to go ahead and give a shout out to my boy Gabe Killian. He's in the chat hanging out with us today. And I slipped up when I was looking into this one. This was one of the fights that got thrown together right before my podcast went live. So when I dug into it, I missed the fact that Kay is actually used to being the bigger woman when it comes to Invicta. Both these girls are coming over from Invicta. Jinh Yu Frey is the 105 former atomweight champion, and I thought that Kay Hansen was an atomweight as well. Turns out she's fought at 115 and 125 in her career, so she's going to be used to dealing with much larger women, and that skews my perspective here. I was fully planning on taking Jinh Yu Frey, but after hearing that and figuring that out, realizing she's competing with much larger women, even though they should stand toe-to-toe relatively evenly. Jinh Yu Frey is a big woman for 105, and I think she's going to fit right in there at home at 115. That is a little scary. The thing for me is that Hansen is still very young, extremely young, and she makes mistakes. I've seen her make mistakes in her last couple of fights, and her opponents simply haven't been able to make her pay for them. Jin will make her pay for them. She's a champion caliber fighter, and honestly, I feel like this line should be a pick'em, even with the weight differential. I want to see them at weigh-ins. I want to see them face off and see if there is a significant size advantage or not. Jin is a solid grappler herself, and I think if this ends up being a grindy wrestling type of event, which in the small cage, we know it stands a very good chance of being, I think there might be some sneaky value on Jin. She's just got that veteran savvy experience. And when you've got a 20-year-old kid, if they slip up once, that's all it takes. And if Jin has the opportunity to take advantage of something like that, she can grind her out from top position or maybe lock up some kind of a submission. I don't want to lay this kind of price on Kay Hansen. The last time I did that was Chase Hooper, and boy, did I pay for that. So I'm not touching that side.
I got it. Clint, what about Hansen by decision? Both these girls, they tend to fight the decision. And if you're betting this fight, I would look into a fighter to win by decision if you're going to bet either or.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely one. But the line is in the area where it's fine to play straight. And I got a little fancy a couple weeks back, taking a couple fighters by decision, and they both finished. So I coughed up 2 units, and it was disgusting. I should have had a break-even night, and instead I was down over 2 units because I got a little fancy. So especially if you're looking at the Jin side of things, why complicate it? You're getting plus 140, just take her straight. If you want to take K by decision to try and get even money, or plus 110, okay, but minus 160, it's not that bad.
You're right. If I can't get more than plus 120 or more, I wouldn't bet it by decision. I would take it straight.
There's
I like
not enough value.
Being younger. Okay, y'all talk about her making mistakes, but I kind of look at it as she has more room to grow. So being young, you're like a sponge. You're absorbing stuff. She trains at 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, so her Jiu-Jitsu game is getting better. Just like Nick said, she seems more of a control position over submission position. Go to half, go to side, throw some elbows. If something opens up, she goes for it. But yeah, I like that 10th Planet. I think she's a purple.
She's a purple belt, I think.
Yeah. I mean, purple belt, 10th Planet. That's a nice little look on that. Being 20, I think she has more room to grow. So
the only point for me there, Mo, is that her last fight was 3 months ago, and with COVID-19 running around, people aren't getting the kind of training and stuff like that they're used to. You give her 6 months between fights, I'm right there with you. But I don't know how much she's improved in the last 2-3 months.
True.
Yeah, true that, brother.
There you have it. That's the second fight on the preliminary card. Let's keep rolling. We move on to a welterweight bout. 5'10", Japanese-born Takashi Sato. 15-3-0 is his professional MMA record. Opens up at minus 163 at Bet365. Is now minus 150. Some money coming in on his opponent. 5'10" American Ramiz. Brahimaj. 8-2-0. Opens up plus 138. Now down to plus 125. That's where it is. Let's go to Boston Nick. Sato Brahimaj, what's your look here?
I mean, Sato's a pancreas fighter for many years. He won his UFC debut against Ben Saunders. And it wasn't a Ben Saunders that we all know. It was a Killer B that was about to retire, okay? CTE Killer B, let's put it that way. So, I mean, Sato is a striker, and his only losses in the past 2 years have come by submission. Now, on the other hand, Brahimaj, I can't pronounce his name correctly, he looks for that takedown from bell to bell, and he's great at that double leg, which he likes to switch right to the back right when his opponent starts to stand up. He tries to take that back right away. He's very explosive in the clinch, and I believe right now he's 8-2 as a pro, right? Yep, and all 8 wins have came by submission. So as of Sato's career, his only losses have came by submission. So I like Brahimaj here. What are the odds we're getting on him though right now?
Right now, Brahimaj is at plus 125. Opened at plus 138 at Bet365. It's now down to plus 125.
He's been getting bet up. He was even worse. He was even better than that before. I think I'm gonna have to get that bet in right after we stop the show because it's probably gonna get a little bit worse, kind of like the Zalal line. I like Brahimaj, so however you pronounce his name.
We are on the 5'10" American Ramiz Brahimaj to start this. That's Boston Nick's look right now, and he wants to get it in as soon as possible as the market is moving towards him. Clint, what do you think of our man Boston Nick's look here?
Well, Nick, you know I hate going head-to-head with you, buddy.
I know.
So I won't. I got a 2 times play on Brahimaj, my man. I'm on the same side as you, my boy.
Let's go.
I am buying in on Brahimaj. I love this guy. He's training out of Fortis MMA. It's one of my favorite up-and-coming gyms right now. And he's training with guys like Geoff Neal. He's training with Bilal Muhammad. He's only a BJJ purple belt, but kind of like my man Mo said, this guy is getting better every single time. He's a young rising star, 27 years old, just now coming into his prime. And what I like to see out of him is even though in those 2 losses, he lost by decision, dude never quits. He's a lot like the native Psycho Griffin that we talked about earlier, that he just has that tired energy. He finds a way to dig deep. He finds a way to keep going, and he sticks himself in the fight and keeps on trying, even when he is tuckered out. Now, the thing with his opponent here, Takashi Sato, he struggled a little bit in his UFC debut, which normally speaking wouldn't be such a bad thing. But like Nick said, it was against a shot Ben Killer B Saunders. You shouldn't be struggling with that man. No. So then he looked a little better against Bilal Muhammad, but Bilal Muhammad's going to do what he's going to do and subs him out in the 3rd round. So we're not exactly sure where Sato lands in the UFC. He could be decent, but he also could be garbage. We'll find out this week. He's a judo black belt. I don't want to speak ill of him. Dude's got skills, but I do think that his striking is relatively limited, and I don't think he's anywhere near as good as Brahimaj is on the mat. So if Brahimaj can get this thing down to the ground, he can sub him out. And with the smaller cage, there's a decent chance he can grind out a decision with some takedowns because Sato just doesn't throw enough volume to win on the judges' scorecards. I think we have a submission opportunity, a ground and pound TKO opportunity, and a potential squeaky razor-thin decision opportunity. I'll take the dog. And I got 2 units. I got that early line at plus 145, Jimmy.
Plus 145 for Clint. So we have Nick and Clint on Brahimaj. We have Jeff D saying, Boss, Nick, and Clint, I agree. Brahimaj will get this win. And then Beach Boss saying, no, my friends.
If he wins, that's probably how he wins. It's by TKO, Beach Boss.
Well, let's hear what our man Big Mo has to say about this spot here. Say no, Brahimaj.
All right, guys. All right. So I'm sure we all watch the same tape. So we all know, hey, how do you say it again, Jimmy?
Brahimaj.
Brahimaj. Hey, my man, nice high guard. Nice head movement, comes in, doesn't really cut the cage off well. He just throws to clinch. He's throwing wild bombs. He's just trying to get the clinch. Not really shooting blast doubles to get his takedowns. If he was shooting blast doubles, I would be all over this guy.
Brahimaj?
Yeah. 8 wins,
great double
8 submissions. You had your turn. So then, so if I see him taking him down, I see him trying to get him against the cage, clinch, try to, take him down that way. But just like my man Clint said, probably the one place where Sato is the best is right there. He has a black belt in judo. excellent balance, has a nice wide base when somebody's trying to take him down. His only really offensive weapon is his straight down the middle. He has a nice straight down the middle, throws real low volume. Man, this is a tough one. Like, I want to be like the guys and go Brahimaj by submission, but I don't think this is the dog. I'm going to take a dog later on. Don't worry, it's probably not going to be the one that everybody wants, but I'm going to take it. But this isn't the one I'm going to take. I'm going to take Sato by decision right here. I think he's going to be able to tire out Brahimaj. He seems to get real tired. Every single time he's been outside the second round, he's been to a decision. He looks super gassed, just like the boys said. He keeps coming. You take him down. He gets up. He gets like a zombie walking around. Maybe Sato can clip him with that one straight down the middle, but I think this is going to be a decision win by Sato.
Brahimaj's only 2 losses are by decision, but then his other, he's 8-2, and those other 8 wins are all by submission finish. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying there on that one. I just don't think Sato has it on the mat for him.
If he drags him to the mat, Belal did the same thing. Then you did it to him twice throughout that fight, but the second time he got him down, locked that body triangle in, worked his hand movement. He was going one way, nice slick move. He tricked him, slipped it like other way, bam, bam, thank you, ma'am, Sato. And Sato tapped quick, if you notice. On the choke like that, you see like Holly Holmes, she'll go out. You know what I'm saying? You can go out. Sato tapped real quick. So if Brahimaj gets that choke, he has an elite squeeze, he's probably going to tap.
Very interesting takes, and the cappers in the chat liking Mo's look here. Sato by decision. There you have the third fight on the preliminary card. We're going to bang right into a heavyweight bout here. 6'2" Brazilian Philipe Monstro Lins. Lins' 14-4-0 professional MMA career opens up as a pick'em, and that's where it stands at Bet365. Open the pick'em, and that's where it stands. Going up against a 6'2" Canadian. Oh, by the way, these Canadians have been looking pretty good the last few weeks here in the octagon. Tanner the Bulldozer Boser. 17-6-1. Pick'em. Clint, what do you think here? Can we back this Canuck?
I love my Canucks, Jimmy. We got Jillian Robertson last event out. She came through for us. And Boser, he's a true Canadian, man. He's missing teeth and everything. So I love this guy. He's ready to go.
Dude, mullet game is on point. Big beard. Playing no games.
Yep. So I'm looking forward to this one, Jimmy, and I'm contemplating making a move. We've got Philipe Lins, who won the PFL $1 million tournament, and I missed an opportunity by just that much. Didn't quite pull the trigger when he faced Andrei Arlovski in his last fight. He came out, he got beat up by the old man. He got that veteran savvy put on him when he came over to the UFC.
It was a close one.
Hey, the value is all on that big old dog, baby.
True, very true.
But here's the point. If you are getting outpaced and outpointed by Andrei Arlovski in the UFC, that puts a ceiling on exactly how far you can go. I am not sold on Lins, Jimmy. He has low volume. He has extremely low output, and he relies on his knockout power, and I just don't know if he's going to be able to knock a guy like Boser out. Boser's got a great thick skull. He's got a hard chin. Dude never gets up. And he's got an impressive output rate. He's always attacking with leg kicks and body kicks. I think he's just going to score more on the feet. And I'm not blind. I've seen the reports out there that Lins is going to take this thing to the mat, but I haven't seen a whole lot of evidence of his ability to do so, and Boser is no slouch in the takedown area. So I just don't trust Lins to come in here and be able to get it done. We already talked about these fighters on the quick turnaround not having a good record so far, and Lins is one of these guys. He's going to be coming back in just a couple short weeks, so you expect me to believe he's turning his entire game plan upside down and is going to go with something that we haven't seen him do a whole lot and be successful with it at the UFC level. Boser was a guy that was able to hang in there with Cyril Gane, who's a true UFC heavyweight prospect. I like Boser here, Jimmy. I'm sitting back and I'm waiting because I know that money is coming in on Lins, and if I can get a nice little plus line on Boser later in the week, that's my angle. That's the way I'm going to go. But as long as it's this pick'em price and I'm not getting that plus sign next to my ticket there, I'm not going to pull the trigger yet.
The bulldozer Boser, if Clint can get a plus sign beside the Canadian. Let's go to Big Mo. What do you think about Big Boser here?
I love how my boy Adam Withers and Jack Attack are thinking. We're going Boser, huh? Hey, something that he's going to do that we're going to see that's going to come into effect tonight is leg kicks, fellas. Leg kicks are here. Y'all going to hear me say it, and y'all going to be like, dang, I wish you would shut up about them leg kicks. They're here to stay, fellas.
Go, sir. Preach. Preach it.
They're here to stay, fellas. And we ain't hitting quads. No, we ain't hitting quads. We're hitting calves, baby. Can I get an amen?
Testify.
Hey, we're hitting calves, all right? And just like Clint said, Boser's real good at movement for a heavyweight, all right? Philipe Lins coming up, light heavyweight, lot of – man, I done pop myself on that one. My bad, guys. I lost character. My bad. So, hey, bottom line, Boser's got a granite chin. That beard helps. Sweet mullet. Good movement for a heavyweight. He's fought true big dudes. You go watch tape on dude. Dude's fought some monsters. And he's just good at cutting angles. Has a really big overhand. We all know what Lins does. He likes to do this. He throws. Yeah. He just tries to catch you in these little bitty short hooks and these little bitty flurries as he's going backwards. Or let's say he's going forward. He just steady, just throwing just flurries. Not straights. He's throwing these little bitty short little baby hooks. And I think that Boser's going to be able to use his movement, leg kick, chop his legs up. And, everybody likes to think that a lot of heavyweight fights are going to be finished. I think this is going to be one of them that goes to a decision. This might be a popcorn and a fireball match. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep, fireball and popcorn, baby. Do your shot, sit your ass down with a bowl of popcorn, and enjoy.
That's weird that you just said that. Just weird, because in my writing here is I want no part in this fight. Fireball and popcorn. I will show this.
It's a thing.
Weird.
Fireball and popcorn is it? You're welcome.
We are one.
I'm not even joking. I'll show you the afterwards, Clint. But listen, Boser's coming off a loss to Cyril Gane, and but I mean he also beat Spitz, right? I'm more impressed in his loss to Cyril Gane than I am in him beating Spitz. He took everything Gane had to. Literally every shot, took it, and he had his moments with Gane as well. And that guy is a monster on the mat and on the feet. That being said, though, Boser, like you were saying, his kicks, that's what's going to come into play here, I think, if he does get the W. He's going to have to plant and just land those heavy kicks on Featherweight when he's coming in, because that's what he's going to do. He's going to come in, he's going to, just like with Arlovski, and try to pressure him. This is Boser or pass. I want to see the weigh-ins as well, but I think I'm just going to go rock with Clint. Have some popcorn, drink some Fireball, a little bit of Miller Lite, and call that one a day. But
Hey, you gonna rock with Clint, bro? We're gonna be live together. What are you talking about? You're gonna rock?
I'm rocking with Clint on the.
What are you talking about? Huh? Hey, you're gonna be kicking it with me. All right.
Most of all, though, like I said here, is those kicks are gonna play dividends, I believe, with if he does implement them. And like I said, he's got a chin and a half. If you're not getting knocked out by Cyril Gane, you're not getting knocked out by Lins. So that being said, it's Boser or pass for me. Lins, last fight I took him against Arlovski. I don't think I can take him again. He kind of pooped in my apple pie, and I got a bad taste in my mouth, if you know what I mean.
All righty, there you have it. The bulldozer being liked by our guys on the screen and in the chat. Let's keep rolling through this preliminary card. You are watching the odds.com breakdown of Poirier Hooker. Next up, we have a women's flyweight bout. 5'6" Italian Romero Borella. 12-8-0. Opens up at Bet365 as a plus 240 dog. That's where she stands right now. Going up against 5'3" American Miranda Maverick. 7-2-0. It's her professional MMA career record. Minus 300 favorite. Big Mo, do you agree with Maverick at minus 300, or are you going to figure out a way to get the juice lessened? What's your move here on this fight?
Well, let's see. Miss Miranda Maverick, 5-fight win streak. She looks like a beast to me. She comes out, she thinks she's a striker at first. Like, she likes to kind of play her range, side kicks to the body, body kicks, little pot shots, pop, 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 hit angles. But then she always ends up shooting takedowns and getting the grappling going. And then that's where she seems like she's pretty strong. Even if she's on her back, she's always trying to get sweeps. You know, she's let's see here. She has 5 subs. She has 7 wins. 5 are by submission, and 2 are by decision. Her subs are neck crank and rear naked choke, guillotine, and armbar. So she has a different array of ways that she could take you out. And Borella, what's a nice way I can say this, is stupid. She has really bad fight IQ and just finds her ways into submissions, finds her ways into being finished. I think she's on, I don't know if it's some kind of record, but I think in every single one of her UFC fights, Borella has found her, like, wah, has found it to the ground. So she's good at getting takedowns. She just makes stupid moves. I'm pretty confident on Maverick here. I don't know if she's going to get the finish. I don't know if she's going to get the submission. Got to dig a little bit more into it, but the play for me here is Maverick. This is probably a nice little parlay piece for you, boy.
Maverick as a parlay piece. Boston Nick, what do you think of that look from our man Big Mo?
Well, you guys know me. I hate Borella.
What are you talking about? Hey, don't you got a tattoo on your lower back that says Borella?
Yeah, listen, she's a jobber and a drug smuggler. That's the last person I would get a tattoo of.
Yours says glitter.
That being said, last month, Courtney Casey destroyed her in 3 minutes and 36 seconds into the first round by armbar, and she was coming up from 115 to 125 in that fight. Miranda Maverick, on the other hand, is really undersized here. She's, 5'3", so I think she has about a 3-inch height disadvantage, and then she's a 4-inch reach disadvantage as well. But watching tape, she wants to get into that takedown area and advanced position from there. I mean, she looks to pass and pass from guard, and then she also likes to go to side and then to mount and force her opponent to give up her back. That's what I think is going to happen here with Borella. I think eventually this is going to hit the mat and not in Borella's favor. I think Maverick's going to take her down and end up getting some sort of mount, raining down punches. Maybe she gives her a back and subs her. If Courtney Casey can sub Borella coming up from 115 to 125, and Borella is supposed to be that jiu-jitsu, she's supposed to have the better jiu-jitsu in that matchup. I don't see it happening here. Another quick turnaround, right, Clint? Borella?
So not only another quick turnaround, my guy, but a double quick turnaround. This is another one of those spots where the UFC probably said, hey, you don't have a job anymore, but we need a fighter this weekend, so take it or leave it. She fought on February 15th, May 16th, and now she'll be fighting again this weekend. So she's been very, very active, and I don't think it's by choice. I think it's by necessity in this one.
Yep, and what separates this fight, in my opinion, yes, she has to work on her stand-up a bit, Maverick, but within the scrambles and all that, she's amazing, and the cardio is where it separates this fight. Horrible cardio for Borella. Maverick has some sick cardio. She'll go all 3 rounds at one pace, and that's why I like Maverick here. She's 22 years old. I'm not sure how old Borella is. I don't really care. She can go back to Italy. Oh, wait, she can't go back to Italy. She's banned for 26 years for drug smuggling, so she can go wherever she wants to, but I believe she'll be cut soon after this fight when she loses.
So, Clint, is this a parlay piece? Are you using Maverick in your action?
She's 34, Nikki Helbows, just so you know.
Wow, okay.
And Jimmy, this chick could be 0-5 in the UFC. She won a split to Talita Santos. The only thing that I think my boys failed to mention is that she gasses hard in round 3. I don't know if anybody said that. I think that's the only piece that they missed, if they missed that. Borella gasses hard. She runs out of energy.
The cardio here is all over Maverick and horrible cardio. Bam. Okay,
she's a solid play. I don't like to use the L word, Jimmy, but if there was
don't use it. Don't use it, Clint. We ain't trying to jinx that this week, bro.
Hey, the only person I said that about was Curtis Blades last week, and he got it done.
Okay, good job, bro. I think something that we can look at here is last time that Maverick was out, she faced Pearl Gonzalez. Gonzalez fought in the UFC. If she's good anywhere besides good on the eyes, she's good at grappling. You know what I'm saying? And she was on top of her. She got swept a couple times. Pearl was on top a couple times, but You know, Maverick, she scrambles, finds her way on top, and then when she gets on top, she seems like a pretty strong girl.
Yeah, she likes to. She'll go from guard to side control to mount. She's very good at transitioning and scrambling into good positions on the mat. Borella is the opposite. So, yeah.
The only concern I've got here, boys, is that Borella's way bigger. She's got a size advantage. She's got a reach advantage.
Yeah.
If Miranda is just a little too young coming into this thing, she's only 22. This is maybe one of those veteran savvy upset type of moments. I know that Borella isn't savvy, so I don't think that's going to happen. I just, that's the only reason she's not tied up into all of my parlays is this is a very young girl and shit happens in MMA.
Yeah, 4-inch reach advantage, 4-inch reach disadvantage and 3-inch reach, height disadvantage. So, yep.
Very interesting. That is the 5th fight on the preliminary card. We get to the main event of the preliminary card. A lightweight bout. 6'3" Italian Luis Violent Bob Ross Pena. 8-2-0 is a professional MMA record. Opens up as a -250 favorite at Bet365 and is now a -275 favorite. So money coming in on Violent Bob Ross. Going up against 5'11" American Khama, the Death Star worthy. 15-6-0 is a professional MMA record. Opening up at +200. Now at +225. Boston Nick. Pena worthy. What's your look here?
Well, Pena is now over at American Top Team, coming from AKA, getting some different looks. So, his wrestling is going to be top tier. He is the taller, rangier striker and needs to constantly pump that jab that he has and fight at range. I know with the small cage, it's going to be a little bit tougher than usual, but I do believe that he can still get it done at range. He just has to be worthy. He just has to be worried about Khama catching him with that just one punch. He really does have a little bit of power. He's a little bit of like that fast twitch muscle type fighter. So I like Pena here. The odds I think are a little bit off, even though Violent Bob Ross is a violent man. I want to see the weigh-ins here. And like Eminem said, all it takes is one shot. And I believe, trust me when I tell you, Khama does that one shot. So
Eminem said that?
Oh yeah, you only get one shot.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
Clint.
It's because you listen to old country.
Clint, the fight analyst says,
ladies rock and roll.
The fight analyst says this line is ridiculous. Timothy Topher says, who has Pena beat? No one. -250 is ridiculous. Not only was he -250, but he's now -275. What's your move here, Clint?
Jimmy, Pena's been overpriced since he got into the UFC.
True.
This dude is huge. He's huge, and that's the problem. When he fights, he's massive compared to his opponents. He's got some decent grappling. He's got some decent striking, but he's not especially good at either of them at the UFC level. He's just big, and the UFC has been spoon-feeding him opponents to give him time to work up and train and get along, and they're doing the same thing they did with Sean O'Malley, hoping to turn this kid into a prospect. Can't blame them whatsoever. He seemed like he's got a whole lot of upside here. But then he runs into Michael Trezano and Matt Frivola, two real up-and-coming prospects, and even though those were close fights, he lost both of them. So he beats Hansen Matt Wyman, who's an elder statesman in the UFC and doesn't belong there anymore. Steve Garcia and Steven Peterson, he's not beating really anybody. And then we've got this kid, Khama Worthy. Khama Worthy has been fighting a career 145, and he's been knocked out a bunch of times. He's been knocked out 5 times. But then you go back on his record and you look at those people, some of those names on there. Paul Felder, a top 5 fighter in the UFC. Kyle Nelson, the monster who was supposed to be fighting this weekend. Billy Quarantillo, a nice, hot, up-and-coming prospect. He's losing to real good guys, Jimmy. And the reason he was getting knocked out is he's one of these guys that was way too big for 145 and sucked himself out to get down there. On top of that, Jimmy, Khama Worthy matches the size of Luis Pena. He's got a 1-inch reach disadvantage here, Jimmy. This is going to be the first guy Pena has faced in the UFC's octagon that's going to be able to stand toe-to-toe and hit him back when Pena is in range. He's a better striker than Pena is, and his takedown defense is pretty solid. Pena doesn't have the punching power to put Khama Worthy out cold, and with those extra 10 pounds on him, I don't think he's going to have the same durability issues that he used to. He is undefeated since he moved up to 155, Jimmy. He's on a 6-fight win streak, and he knocks people out. His last fight, he came in and took on Devontae Smith and cashed as a plus 650 underdog. I'm going to look to Bottle Magic twice, Jimmy. I got a bet on Khama Worthy. I got plus 220 in my pocket. I'm ready to watch this kid step in here and show everybody that Pena is not as good as they've all been saying he is this entire time. I've been waiting to fade Pena, and my moment has come. I'm taking my shot, and I got the right price to do it.
And Pena and Clint, Pena is that another quick turnaround?
I don't think so.
Didn't he fight Steve Garcia not too long ago, like 3-4 months ago? 3 months ago? 4 months ago? I thought it was 3-4 months ago. I thought.
But February.
A lot of people in the chat here agreeing with the look on Worthy right from the beginning of the introduction of the main event on the prelim card. People were saying worthy at this price. Big Mo, do you agree with the dog look here?
So my two compadres, my two gaboons over here, we don't really agree that often, but I'm not worthy. Gotta go Worthy. Just on a card that the dogs are slim pickings, like, you know, where you can be able to make a nice little chunk. And this is coming from someone, if y'all look it up, Pena's from your boy's home state. He's from Arkansas, is what some people like to call it. Arkansas is how you pronounce it, people. But so if anybody's going to be on Pena, it's going to be your boy. But then you start thinking, I'm with Clint. It's just he's been getting all these favored matchups. It's like they've been feeding them to him. He's long, lanky. He is kind of awkward on the mat. He does have some grappling chops, but he's not the brightest with it. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't shoot when he's supposed to shoot. He kind of does stuff opposite sometimes. He does have just like Nick said, he went from AKA to ATT, two great camps, two great looks. On paper, you're like, Pena should come in small cage. If you go do some tape, Worthy does get taken down. But, man, Worthy has that one equalizer that Pena doesn't, and it's his inside leg kicks, his outside leg kicks, another leg kicks. If you go watch him, those leg kicks he was smashing Devontae Smith with, those were serious leg kicks. They had Devontae thinking, and then when Devontae came in, he hit him with a little hook, and he threw an uppercut, but he didn't even have to hit that uppercut because that hook was so serious. He has serious power with a 6-fight win streak on top of that dog. I think the pick here is Worthy.
One thing, chicken legs are going to have a problem with those leg kicks.
Yes, and that's very true. One thing I want to bring up though is I was watching an interview actually earlier today, and Dustin Poirier, he said that Luis Pena was actually helping him get ready for his fight against Dan Hooker. You know, taller guy, linkier guy.
He's got the same build, height, reach. He's nowhere near as good though.
No, not. But he's getting.
And if he's been mimicking Hooker this entire fight camp, think his wrestling's going to be on point? I don't know. Nope. He might come out trying to strike.
Yep. So, good point.
Wow. I don't remember having a plus 225 dog that everybody believes in. And Bob Taylor right there just locked in Worthy at plus 225. There's the Prince of the City in the house. We got a great group of cappers in the chat. That is your preliminary card right there. The 6 fights on your preliminary card. Let's go to preliminary card best bet time. And let's start with my man, Big Mo. What's your best bet on this preliminary card?
Let's think about this a second, Jimmy. I'm thinking I might lock in a little parlay, a little Youssef and Miss Maverick parlay. I think I'm gonna lock that in. Pretty confident in Youssef, real confident in Maverick. I think that's gonna be your boy's best underdog pick.
Tanner Boser.
Tanner Boser?
Trying to sneak in there real quick, huh?
Sorry, Clint.
Always trying to take my steam.
Was it Boser or no?
No.
we got Mo on a Youssef, the Moroccan Devil, Zalal Maverick parlay that gives him a plus line. We've got our man Boston Nick on the Bulldozer, whom Clint is waiting to see if a plus line gets there. So that is my man Nick's favorite look on the preliminary card. And let's hear what Clint started Diehard MMA Podcast favorite look on this preliminary card.
I've only got 3 bets on the preliminary card, Jimmy, and they're all dogs. So I guess, you know what? I'm going to sack up, and I'm going to give you Khama Worthy as my best bet on the undercard.
Woo. Good hit.
Wow.
That's plus 220, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
Wow. I like it.
I like what Mr. Gabriel said, too. A nice little Hansen Maverick parlay. I was thinking about that one as well.
Hansen, Maverick, yeah. A lot of people using Maverick as a parlay piece and then plus lines all over. Timothy Topher says, we are not worthy. Nice spots there. My Henny boy, my guy Henny boy in the house says, Khama Worthy. Let's get it. There you have it. There is the preliminary card brought to you by my guys, Big Mo, Boston Nick, and Clint Starr, the Diehard MMA Podcast. Preliminary card right there. There you have it. Check us out, odds.com. Follow us on Twitter, odds110, and subscribe here to Odds HQ, what you are watching right now on YouTube. There you have it, the preliminary card.